Capture full grown.
So I am super excited. This is Xander Brown with Capture 411, and this is our very first podcast. And we could not imagine a better person to have in our first one than the Queen of OASIS, Katie Helwig. So, Katie, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, happy to be here, Xander.
What inspired you to write this last piece on OASIS Plus and the importance of historical solicitations?
Capture 411 offers a more realistic financial burden, let's say, or non-burden for companies who are just kind of at the initial stage of trying to find their niche and trying to build their strategy for winning on OASIS Plus.
How would somebody first recognize that access to past look, I'm messing up. Past solicitations could be such a game changer for contractors and companies?
The PWS gives you some indication, the performance work statement, but really it's those instructions to offers and the labor categories. It's kind of the key to getting those pre-solicitations or prior solicitations, because you may find out after reading the letter's instructions that you can't prime. It could be the requirements have TS. It could be past performance has to be 3 years and your past performance is 5 years. It could be the labor categories that are out of your range for attracting or retaining the recruits. So it really helps you decide if you're going to be a prime or a sub, even if you have the vehicle.
Would you say that it gives you insight into what a CO has thought in the past, to give you that ammunition to understand what they might be thinking about for this future endeavor?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I like to compare and contrast what the background and overview is from the previous solicitation to say what the RFI says, to see where they are and kind of their milestones of a particular project. And I think that helps a contractor determine what their strategy is and figuring out what their themes, their win themes, and their approach will be.
So what are some other things that you would think that a person, if they are actually gathering this old information, what should they be looking for? What's the overlooked insights that maybe these companies and contractors can get from the past solicitations other than what you just said?
So liquid gold, I would say, is the labor categories. If that pricing sheet is available, you know what the labor categories are. You can start scoping out that talent, maybe through LinkedIn or such, trying to find the previous program manager or the second iterative program manager to reach out and to spearhead your proposal. But those labor categories, I think, is the golden nugget.
Yeah, I do like that. Liquid gold. I like the way you say that. You also wrote that legacy OASIS contractors have a head start due to their years of document accumulation, basically. How realistic is it really for newcomers to catch up using platforms like Capture 411 or other platforms?
Really, the savvy ones did take the information that they had and create a repository. But here's the thing, Xander, and this is the dichotomy of OASIS Plus. If you were on OASIS Small Business in the first round and you were very, very successful, you have probably sized out of the recompetes for under the OASIS Small Business pool. So you have the information, but you may not be able to prime because you were so successful. It's kind of like this double-edged sword. So for newcomers coming in, keep that in mind and really use the research on can the existing incumbent prime as a small business, or if they sized out, and that's your in.
Your article highlights compliance as a major benefit for legacy data. What's one compliance issue that you've seen repeatedly trip up new entrants?
The facility clearance compliance.
Okay.
People go after it and like, you don't have a TS facility clearance. Why are you even putting any effort into this solicitation, right? Or if you're in advance, if it's enough in advance, that's a goal that you need to achieve. But now moving forward, CMMC compliance is going to be a really big indicator, particularly for DoD contracts or Department of War contracts. And now the new cybersecurity risk management construct.
Right.
These are all the new quote unquote, latest and greatest that businesses, large, medium, and small, need to quickly pivot and address to be competitive moving forward.
And how should companies know when they're ready to move into that next stage?
If I put in a bucket like the 8A companies who primarily have been, the entrepreneur has been wearing multiple hats, right? Wearing the BD, wearing the capture, wearing the operations, all of those things in one, kind of the do-it-yourself piece until they figure out who they want to be, how they're going to get there, and they have a couple of contracts to kind of fund the infrastructure for scaling. So that's kind of the piece that I think where I kind of focus on is to help those companies who have a lot of promise kind of migrate over from everything do it yourself to slowly migrating over to the walk, where you're going to put some infrastructure. Maybe you have a new HR plan. Maybe you have, a COO, someone who's dedicated for operations, someone's doing to BD, all kind of the 10 disciplines that you need in order for rapid growth. So, the investments that these companies make sometimes is larger than they are to kind of recoup their investment. And that's why I love Capture 411 here.
Oh, thank you. Now, I'm going to ask you to give a little bit of that liquid gold. So if you're advising a small business that's about to bid on its first Oasis Plus opportunity, what 3 actions would you tell them to take today?
Have you spoken with a customer? Have you got in front of the customer? Kind of the gate reviews, right? Does the customer know you? So branding and creating your brand trust, super important. Making sure you understand what the customer's pain points are, so you address those pain points. But most importantly, make sure you submit a compliant proposal.
Now, as more opportunities consolidate into Oasis Plus, what do you think the long-term implications are for both small and mid-tier contractors?
I'm going to say opportunity for companies who are trying to leverage their Oasis Plus contract vehicle. Look at Seaport E recompetes, which I know Capture 411 has quite a lot of those.
Yes.
Look at CIOSP3 recompetes. Look at GSA Mass recompetes and kind of change your mindset. It's like, look, this was an IT contract before. But keep in mind the golden nugget of Oasis Plus, even though it's a professional services contract, only 51% of the work has to be professional services. So there was a lot of success in the last 5 years to migrate the IT work into professional services because you're offering an enterprise-wide holistic solution, including the integration, including process improvement, all of those golden nuggets to move it to where you want it to go.
If readers take only one message away from your article, and we will highlight it so people who haven't seen it can read it, what do you hope that is?
I want people to know there are options out there for them and at their budget range and where they are in their trajectory within the GovCon community. And, don't feel like you have to make a $50,000 investment when you're going after $2 million work right now. There are options out there, and to really investigate all of those options and not be strong armed, I'll say, into buying something or committing to something that's larger than where they are in their stage of of their company.
This is definitely not the only time we're going to talk, and I look forward to the next time we do.
Oh, Xander, anytime.
What's the 411? Capture full grown up.